Last week, a report was dropped about the cost of racism. But before we do that, I want to talk about accountability. In Zoom and in YouTube, I want you to type yes in chat if you set up your automated Vanguard account. Put yes or no. I think sometimes because we hear so many companies, we make this too damn complicated. You can pick an index. They have aggressive ones. Shout out to Elite, like VGT, which will get you a good game. That's a gem for those you say I don't give enough. We've given, and Troy got one. I don't want him to give it, but he gonna give it. That's why Rashad was last week. Now Troy, but VGT is one.
We got some trees.
VTI is another. Just go on Vanguard and automate. Type yes in chat if you've read Money Master the Game. You've heard me screaming about this book for 6 months. I promise you it is life-changing. Type yes in chat if you've read it, or no if you haven't.
That's our next book.
That's in our book club.
That's our book club.
University.
That's the next book.
Perfect timing.
Exactly.
We had y'all on the stage. And then are you guys reading to 30 to 50 pages about investing per day? Now, the thing is, like, a lot of you guys will ask questions, but the answers to those questions are wrapped in a book. I know every book on investing isn't amazing, but the ones that we recommended have been thus far. So I want to start to do accountability checks every week to make sure that we're on par with what we need to be doing, opposed to just sitting on the sidelines and then not knowing. So I want to walk you through the cycle of the market, because some people are terrified, some people are elated about what's happening in the market right now. Today was a great day, but as we have SPACs coming out, which I'm not the biggest fan of, since we've had the drops in September, the move to cyclicals, I want to show you the actual process of how the market moves inside of this graph. So you'll see this through tech stocks, penny stocks, Bitcoin. You're going to start here, right? The rally is no good. Then you're going to go through a hope period when everyone is excited. So this is like when Bitcoin was at like 5,000, 10,000, everyone was saying that it was going to go to 100. And then you can see that the rally is real. You go through belief, you go through thrill, and then you go through euphoria. Euphoria is the part where people get greedy, or it's buying at the high. Please type in chat, do not buy at a high. So when you guys have the episode with StockX, it's the same thing. The Jordans are worth 350. Don't buy them for 900. The resale value is not going to be there. And then what happens? The market tapers off and all the enthusiasm goes away, like Tesla post stock split. And then now we start to slide down. Now we're anxious. Man, I don't know if it's going to go up, man. I know Rashad said to get I buy, but I got it at the high because I thought it was going to go 28 bucks higher and it didn't. And now you're drawing down 10% or 20%, and now you're down, and now you're panicking. And it's like, oh shit, I need to get out. But if you would hold for a long enough period, you will be fine. And the market is totally efficient at punishing gamblers and rewarding those that can hold on to the stocks for the longest period of time. Please type yes in chat if you went through any of these emotions this year when buying. If you haven't, you're lying. Right? So I want you to be mindful to buy quality, because I know some of these companies went up 40, 50, 60%, but you're better off with a 12, a 13, a 15% gain, opposed to being up 30 and then drawing down 28% to only net 2. So that is the cycle of the market. You guys can Google cycle of the market and you can find this illustration as well. But let's talk about the cost of racism, because I truly believe if companies had done right by African-American consumers, the economic calamity that we're in would not be as bad and GDP would be higher. So as of right now, America could have been $16 trillion richer if it not were for inequities in education, housing, and wages over the last 20 years. I think everyone in corporate knows that we are willing to spend our money with corporations that treat us right. But because of discriminatory acts, this money has been lost. And all of a sudden, every retail company on earth is emailing us and telling us to come back and that they love us. But we have to look and see that Black workers have lost $113 billion in potential wages over the last 2 decades. And the housing market, which is booming right now, has lost $218 billion in sales because Black applicants could not get home loans. And when this commercial market crashes, I'm going to put my neck on the line and say, if we had more applications on the commercial side go through, we would have been able to prop up the market as well. So for all those of you that are listening in corporate, I would love for you to change your guidelines and not discriminate, because not only will it help the African American community, but in turn, it will also help your company and probably prevent you from going out of business. We are probably one of the most important consumers on the face of the earth, and we get treated the worst. So I hope this is a turning point to show that racism does have a true effect on businesses and their bottom line. It's a key point right now for my traders. I need you to know the Fed is the market maker. Funds, macro funds, hedge funds, prop funds are all going based on what the Fed and what the Treasury is doing. Right now, it is a trader's market. From a long-term perspective, I know it is tough. For some of you, this is your first storm. Wait it out. Winter shall pass. The thunderstorm shall pass. Hopefully, mid-2021, June of 2021, things will start to settle down. But until then, follow very closely everything that the Fed says, because that will give you an indication of where the market is going to go. And this is a great point. If you would not hold a stock for 40 years, I don't want you to touch it for 4 days. I'm not trying to stop you guys from having fun. But when you're like, hey, I heard of this company and it has no revenue and no competitive market share and no moat and no one's heard of it, but it's going to take down AMD, that's not the one. If you set it and forget it, it makes it a lot easier. And sometimes we have to get our hands burned to understand this lesson. So for all of you, those of you that loved HM&Y Movie Pass back in the day, I was like, man, it's going to take down Netflix because you can watch 1,000 movies in a month if you want to for $20. Not a good business model. You want to follow companies that are of the highest quality to keep the stress away out of your life and your portfolio. If you want less stress when you're investing, please type yes for me. And when the market tanks, I need you to remember, gold will go up, the bond market will go up, the VIX will go up, which is investable, and the euro will go up. There's always a market going up somewhere, and you can short the market as it drops to hedge. Now, listen, I want to walk you guys through some charts, because I know you guys have been like, hey, you said you were going to do it. To all my stock club members, if you enjoyed the session that we did a couple of weeks ago, please say yes. I appreciate you.
I'm gonna say yes too, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. But I really want to show you guys what to do and be able to take advantage of these moves in real time. So I'm gonna share my other screen, if you let me, Troy, and then I want to get right into some of these companies. But and this is my last point. We are at the levels, the natural levels where we should be without synthetic support from the Fed or Treasury. I know we wanted Tesla to go back up to 1,500 in 1 month. It's not going to happen. Those averages of 8 to 15% have been there historically for a reason. So whenever we get, and Rashad said it, look, man, tech is getting tricky. I think we're too high. He called it 4 weeks ago. And then we fell apart. And everyone's like, what the hell happened? I'm like, he told you he's an advisor.
Ian, you the host. I think you got to do it.
Okay. I appreciate that. So I want you guys just to be mindful of that we are at the actual levels that we should be at this actual time. And over time, the market will go up for sure.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.